Hey guys, it's Larry O'Connor, Larry from Town Hall. Thank you for finding me over here on my personal channel. And please like and subscribe because I've got some brand new, all original content coming really soon that we're going to be churning out every single day right here on this channel, separate from my Town Hall channel. So like this video, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.
We also appreciate the fact that the implementation of the project will provide important opportunities for Africa's development in sectors such as agriculture, renewable energy, digital transformation, trade and logistics.
All right, so we don't need to hear all of the things because I don't want to put you to sleep either. I mean, honestly, part of me is like, can you blame the poor guy that he has to sit through this? Let's move it along, dude. But look at him. What do you think? Is he just resting his eyes? Is he resting his eyes, or is he just concentrating really hard on the in-depth details of what's going on here at this little meeting, this summit? You can't say that he's trying to focus really hard on the English translation that they're feeding into his ears because dude is talking in English. He's speaking English. So, oh, look, oh my God, his head's gonna knot. Oh, there he goes. He's starting to drift. Do you see him drifting? He's drifting to the left. He's drifting to the left. I mean, Joe Biden's been drifting to the left his entire political career. We're supposed to be so proud that this man represents us internationally. We were supposed to be afraid of Donald Trump becoming the commander in chief and the head of state and representing us internationally. We were told that he was an embarrassment. Remember that? Remember that argument? You can't let Donald Trump be the president of the United States and represent us in international forums. He's embarrassing. He'll embarrass us. He's an embarrassment. So instead, we need this guy.
And 12 miles a day on Amtrak from Washington to my hometown of Wilmington, Delaware, as a senator. And so I like trains a lot.
All the smart people in Washington, all the elitists, all the credentialed class, they'll tell you that this guy's a genius, that foreign affairs is his bailiwick, that this has been his passion his entire life, even though he's been on the wrong side of everything. Remember when Ronald Reagan stood at the Brandenburg Gates in Germany and said those famous words, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall"? Within 2 years, the Soviet Union had collapsed. And then a year later, yes, in fact, that wall did get torn down. Gorbachev didn't tear it down. The people of Germany tore it down. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? That night, and again, please Google it, look me up, fact check me. If I'm not telling you the truth, please say so in the comments, publicly shame me. The very night that Ronald Reagan said, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall," Senator Joe Biden was on CNN criticizing Ronald Reagan's foreign policy, saying that he was wrong. In fact, Ronald Reagan wrote about it in his diary, called out Joe Biden personally in his diary for attacking Ronald Reagan while he was in Germany, saying, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." Look it up. He's been wrong about everything. But the credentialed class, the same people who say that Donald Trump will embarrass us overseas and that this person or that person is not qualified to be in Donald Trump's cabinet, they say this guy is eminently qualified to be president, that he's eminently qualified to shore up our foreign policy overseas. Don't ever believe experts in Washington, D.C. Ever. Meanwhile, when he wasn't embarrassing us by falling asleep, he was giving the people of Angola $1 billion. He gave them $1 billion because they've had some weather problems that Joe Biden thinks is linked to you driving an SUV. And he thinks that we're in some way responsible for that. And so we have to give them $1 billion.
That's the right thing for the wealthiest nation in the world to do. And today, I'm announcing over $1 billion in new humanitarian support for Africans displaced from homes by historic droughts and food insecurity.
It's the right thing for the wealthiest nation in the world to do. He's over there doing the right thing by the people of Angola who are suffering right now because of some sort of weather calamity. Luckily, of course, here in the United States of America, we've got it good. We're the wealthiest nation in the world, and nowhere in our country is anyone suffering because of some sort of weather calamity, right? Hey, let's turn the channel over to CBS News and see what they're talking about.
Snow and biting cold. December delivering a different type of storm to hurricane-ravaged western North Carolina.
What do you need?
Just people to come check on us. So, man,
His home destroyed. Steve Crowell showed us the tent he lived in for weeks.
Is this your food in boxes?
yeah, people drop stuff off that we already have, and most of it's expired food.
This is how hundreds of people are still living in western North Carolina in campers and in tents amid bitterly cold temperatures.
Shauna Levine's family with 7 children has been staying in this shelter, a former Gold's Gym, for 2 months.
How do you think your kids are doing?
They're struggling, but they're managing it well. Definitely has affected them.
Dozens of people who lost their homes are staying here, but the lease is up. They have to be out by the end of the month.
We are refusing to let these people be out in the street. We're gonna find a place for each and every person.
That's fantastic. I just want to jump in here because it's great to see somebody in authority who's jumping in there and trying to help these people out. What division of the federal government do they work for? Is that FEMA? Is that Health and Human Services? What's it say here? Western Carolina Rescue Ministries. Western Carolina Rescue Ministries. That's not the federal government. That's not FEMA. That's not Joe Biden's administration coming to help people. That's that's some right-wing religious fanatic. I'm guessing the Western Carolina Rescue Ministries doesn't get any federal funding. All right. Sorry about that. My bad. I thought maybe FEMA was doing it. Okay, let's continue with the report.
The need across western North Carolina is staggering.
Would you like a soup and sandwich?
Volunteers at this free food site in hard-hit Swannanoa are cooking 800 meals a week.
This is 100% people taking care of people.
Chris Smith has volunteered every day since the storm hit.
No conditions, no politics. It's just there's hungry people. We need to feed them.
Relief centers with washing machines, Wi-Fi, and hot showers are a lifeline. Amid the daily struggles, there is progress.
Okay, Isaac.
Levine and her family will finally leave the shelter this week. Not a permanent home, but 2 camper vans to be shared by 9.
How has this experience changed your family?
I think it has made us closer. Families have been torn apart, and we still have one another.
Here in Swannanoa, along the river, it's more like a campground than a neighborhood. The homes here, they are either gone or unlivable, left behind the debris and campers and tents people are now calling their homes. Nora.
All right. Well, listen, I do want to give credit to CBS News for at least covering this story. I appreciate it. That's horrible to see. American citizens affected by the hurricane this far out with snow falling, sub-freezing temperatures are living in campers and tents, and there's no help around. And I want to remind you, President Biden was just in Angola to give them $1 billion for relief due to some weather event that he thinks is connected to climate change. And why did we do that again? Remind me, Joe Biden, why did we do that?
You know, that's the right thing for the wealthiest nation in the world to do.
Oh, because it's the right thing for the wealthiest nation in the world to do. Can we just take one more peek as to what's going on here in the wealthiest nation in the world, the nation that doesn't get $1 billion from Joe Biden as he's flying around in the final days of his presidency?
To parts of western North Carolina seeing their first winter weather of the season. But many of the areas seeing snow have not fully recovered from Hurricane Helene, and the conditions that people are living in, well, let's just say less than optimal. Steve Harrigan on the ground at Swannanoa, North Carolina, just east of Asheville with the latest. Steve?
John, first snowstorm here underway, and these freezing temperatures really the last thing people in western North Carolina needed. If you see here, people were in these mobile homes. Those floors were torn out by the storm Helene 8 weeks ago. They were moved to hotels by FEMA. Those hotel vouchers for many people have run out, and now they are in tents after 8 weeks after this storm. And for families with small children, it is not an easy transition.
It's awful, especially with your kids. It feels like you're really letting them down. It's really cold. It's very uncomfortable.
A lot of people here have also lost their cars in addition to their homes. They were flooded out in the storm, and there's no money for many for porta-johns or bottled water. And when you talk to emergency workers here, they say the pace of recovery is just startlingly slow.
There's no sewer, there's no water, there's no power. There's your answer.
This is a storm that killed 103 people in North Carolina, caused $50 billion worth of damage, and 8 weeks later, you've got families in donated tents with wood-burning stoves.
But your president is Angola giving them $1 billion for what reason again, Joe? I just want to remember.
You know, that's the right thing for the wealthiest nation in the world to do.
It is the right thing for the wealthiest nation in the world to do. Thanks again for watching this video from Town Hall. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel, the Larry O'Connor channel, because we've got some brand new original content coming that you're going to love. Live streams as well as videos on a daily basis. Tons of it that I know you'll like. So subscribe. And again, thanks a lot for watching.